Hey there, lady. My name is Molly Conley, and I'm devoted to helping women reinvent their love lives, whether that's after divorce, dating on and off the apps, or in their committed relationship. Why? Because I've been there. I'm a former college athlete who filed for divorce 3 years into marriage, swam in the online dating pool into my late 30s, and now I am married to the man of my spreadsheet dreams who I met 4 months before the world shut down. As a dating and relationship coach, I help my clients shift the focus from being obsessed with finding Mr. Right to shifting to herself as Miss Right Now. We build a foundation filled with clarity, connection, and confidence, knowing she is worth waiting for. Each week on the podcast, I'll bring you love life insights and savvy guests, where you will receive the courage to release programmed limiting beliefs. Discover patterns and behaviors restricting you from finding and attracting quality men, and ways to choose yourself first so you can build a foundation for a healthy relationship with yourself and a partner. Hey there, lady. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm getting so excited. Brad and I are leaving on Monday for a 2-week vacation to the Colorado mountains. This is a trip that we've been planning since February. We didn't know if we were going to be able to take this trip due to my breast cancer diagnosis and surgery, but we're totally in the clear to go. There will still be episodes dropping for you to listen while I'm gone. All right, so there's times when women come to me and think that I'm a matchmaker or that in 90 days they're going to meet their soulmate. Obviously, it's not a good match for both of us when this happens because I help women like you go deeper, to work on their core authentic self, just so they can be, more efficient in their love life. And when I talk about being efficient in your love life, that's how it's going to reinvent itself. Because right now, do you know what you're looking for? Do you know if you're going to be settling or not? Yeah, I have a lot of women think that all they need to do is figure out what they want and then still go date hundreds of men to find the one. That is something I never tell my clients to do. Instead, we work on you. We figure out what you want and what you need deep down. Sometimes this does include a list of qualities and characteristics, but it's not, he's 6'3" with brown hair and 8-pack abs. It's not like that. Or that he likes kids or has a job. We really get into those details so you can create a vision of what you're looking for in your life and in a partner. I want to work with women who are looking for a partner for the long term. This is why a lot of women get confused on how we really get started in this work, because they think we need to start on what they want in a person. Today, I'm going to discuss intentional dating, what it is and what it looks like, and how your mindset and skill sets are important to not only finding the man you want, but also having the patience to stick with it. So what is intentional dating? The short answer, it's being mindful of who you choose to date, knowing why you want to be in a relationship and what is important to you long term so you can have a healthy relationship. This is why going on hundreds of dates is a waste of your time. When you're dating with intention, you choose quality over quantity so you have legit connections versus superficial surface level relationships. When you're dating with intention, you aren't settling for a relationship because you're lonely or because someone wants you to be in a relationship with them. No. When you're dating with intention, you aren't confused and wanting to ask, what are we? Because situationships are the last thing you want to deal with. When you're dating with intention, you empower yourself through your mindset, skill set, and actions. The first mindset shift you need to overcome is going from either the victim mindset or the scarcity mindset, or a combination of both. Victim mindset is thinking, poor me, why doesn't anybody love me? Why can't I find someone? And the scarcity mindset is thinking, I'm running out of time. There's not enough men who fit what I'm looking for, or I don't have enough of the qualities of, what men are looking for in a woman. Instead, we need to shift the focus from the poor you and shift into why not you. We need to shift the focus from not enough for whoever else and shift it into focusing on yourself. You have one life to live, and it's time to make it yours. To make these shifts, you need to get crystal clear on what you want. So I want you to set a goal. And your goal is not, let me repeat, your goal is not getting a ring on your freaking finger. If you want a ring, go buy it yourself. And I'm not kidding. If you want it, go get it. You're worth it. But don't expect a man to give you anything that you cannot give yourself. Because when he does, it's icing on the cake. It's a cherry on top. It's the sprinkles on the fun, yummy donut. It's authentic gesture. That is what you want. So, for example, my goal, I took my biggest fear and I flipped it. My fear was, would I ever find anyone to love me? Yes, of course I will. And you will find this person too. But like I said, don't expect a man to give you anything you can't give yourself. Starting to accept yourself for who you are, starting to care for yourself, truly, you will start to trust yourself, discover deeper self-worth, and love will be there. When I asked myself that question, I was recently divorced at 28 years old. I found my husband a few months after I turned 38. Everything that I did those 10 years led me to him. But I guess I could have started earlier, right? But guess what? He still would not have been there. Why? Because he was at a different point in his life. He was already married to someone else. He was a different person, and so was I. I'm saying this because you will have to grow while you're dating with intention. You will have to work on yourself for yourself so that you attract the type of man who wants the woman that you're becoming. This is extremely important. I'm going to say it again. You have to work on yourself for yourself so that you attract the type of man who wants the woman that you're becoming. Once you figure out what you truly want for yourself, you can start working on why you want to be in a relationship and what important factors will help you determine if this person can be in a healthy relationship with you. So, in order to stay focused on that main intention of what you want, you have to set some goals. Now, I completely understand if you don't know how to do this when dating or when you're in a relationship, because when I first started this whole process, crafting it for myself years ago, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But if you're an ambitious woman, you know one thing. You know how to set goals. My favorite way to achieve my goals is by reverse engineering them. Honestly, it's a whole lot easier to do this when you're in control of your goal. It's another when two people are involved because that's what makes a relationship. But like I've heard before, and so maybe you have as well, you can only control what you can control. You cannot change or control anyone else but yourself. So you can reverse engineer almost any goal. And when you can do that and achieve it, it makes it easier to reverse engineer another goal and another goal. Eventually, it's so easy that you can figure out ways to do this with something like finding the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life. After my divorce, my self-confidence was extremely low. And to be honest, I was not even setting goals in my life at that time. As a high achiever and a former athlete, I felt like I was living in the twilight zone. By not having goals, I felt completely lost. When I decided that I needed to focus on myself, I was able to go back to how I set goals and reverse engineer them in the first place. And I will tell you that I have achieved almost all of the goals that I've ever set for myself after my divorce, whether that was through, finances, career, gaining skill sets, personal development, returning to athletics, and even mental health. So, for example, one of my goals that I have for next year in 2024 is to be a Masters national champion again in my age group for one of my favorite swimming events, which is the 50 breaststroke. But guess what? I can't even swim right now because of my mastectomy. I can barely lift weights in a way that's going to allow me to develop strength in my shoulder and in my chest. But I'm in the planning phase of reverse engineering how to reach my goal. This process for reverse engineering for things that I've done numerous times, like swimming and competing, gets easier and easier each time. Yet there's always something that is new or an obstacle or a challenge to overcome to still get to that goal. The same goes for the goal that you have for your long-term healthy relationship. So, once you've challenged your mindset, discovered what you really want, crafted a goal, reverse engineering can start. And speaking of start, maybe you're used to setting SMART goals that companies create. I'm going to tell you right now, I hate those goals. And here's the reason why. They are not flexible with real life. And my perfect example is how the pandemic fucked up a lot of corporate goals. It was something none of us saw coming, you know? Who you are today is completely different than who you were before the pandemic started, right? So, even just before we get into how to do this, I'm going to go through what the SMART goal framework is so that you can see how this won't apply to relationships and how it doesn't apply to real life in general. S stands for specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for achievable. R stands for relevant. And T stands for time-based. Tell me how that works in real life. You're not a robot. You're not a factory. You're a human being that has ups and downs just like everyone else, and you can only control what you can control. So we're going to do this differently, okay? I do want your goals to be specific, and your specific goal is going to be relevant already. If you have the clarity of what you know you want in a relationship and why you want it in the first place. This is why being intentional is so important. I want you to be able to describe who you are when you meet that goal. What does it look like? How do you feel in the moment when you meet your goal? Write all that down. And that is the woman that you're going to start leaning into and becoming. Next, this is going to sound funny. Get curious. What do you need to do in order to reach your goal? Let those come up in any order. There's no wrong or right answer. Then I want you to get creative. Write down at least 15 out-of-box ideas that would help you reach your goal. Maybe you wrote down, get outside of my comfort zone. Okay, would that include, taking a hot air balloon ride? Sure it does. Write it down, even if you're thinking, this has nothing to do with my goal, Molly. It helps your brain expand and search for different and unique answers. Let those come to you over the next few days. You're going to be surprised. I usually get these ideas when I'm in the shower. I think a few of us do. Eventually, you're going to organize these and start breaking them down into smaller steps and smaller goals. Of course, like I said, challenges or obstacles are going to come up. So here's an example of what I did when this happened when I was single. So there would be times where I would think to myself, I want to go on a date with at least one person who fits the majority of what I'm looking for once a month. And honestly, there were a lot of times where this would not happen. But you have options. First, I stopped playing small. I decided to pay for legit dating services and apps. The more I could write or fill out for a profile, the better. Because I noticed that men who utilize the apps and wanted a long-term relationship would fill out the profile as much as possible. And for transparency purposes, I never paid for more than 3 months. There's a few reasons why, and the first is being that most people are on multiple apps. Second, I would know pretty quickly if there was more than a handful of people I wanted to get to know because I was dating with intention. Okay, next. I accepted that I would need to take breaks from dating altogether and, just do me. I made myself take breaks after the 3-month subscription, especially when there were zero, and I mean zero new men who I had an interest in. This would just give me more time to focus on myself. And I would also arrange to take myself out on a date twice a month, whether that was going out for dinner by myself, going to a workout class, or just grabbing a book and heading to a coffee shop. Keep gathering options for when you don't meet your goals because you're intentionally dating. Maybe you've always wanted to develop a better relationship with a specific family member. Make time for them. Or you want to deepen your friendship with someone you just met. Or maybe you've always wanted to start writing a book. Just do it. Now, there's a bonus to giving yourself the space to do any of these things when you're unable to find someone who you feel is a good fit for you when you're intentionally dating. They make wonderful stories to share on a first date when you do meet someone worthwhile. They expand your capacity to try new things. They also keep you out of the victim and scarcity mindsets holding you back in the first place. Okay, so enough of that. What skill sets do you need to date intentionally? I believe there's a few, and it's hard to rank which one's more important than the next, but they are discipline, determination, and patience. So for discipline, you can either have what you want right now, and maybe that's sex, maybe it's friend with benefits, or a date to a wedding. Or you can work for what you really want most and still have fun in the process. Staying disciplined will help get you started and stay strong when there seems to be no one that is a good fit for you. Determination helps you in so many areas because you're determined to find love. And like I mentioned earlier, developing a deeper connection and love for yourself will help you go a lot further in your relationship. Plus, there's not a timeline attached to finding love. Once you can let that go, whether that's, including other people's expectations and their limiting beliefs that they're projecting onto you, the easier it is going to be to release the control to find someone right now and become the person that you want to be in love. With that said, you still have to have patience. Patience is going to serve you more often than not. Sometimes you have to come up with your own way of reminding yourself to be patient. And mine was repeating, everything happens for a reason. And then I would reflect on what lesson it taught me so I could be prepared in the future. Maybe you want your own mantra, like take it one step at a time, one day at a time, or this too shall pass, or I trust the timing of this moment. Whatever it is, I recommend creating a mantra or a saying for moments that test your patience and a way to learn from them to help you continue to grow towards your goal. Okay, I feel like I covered a lot in this episode, but there's still so much to work through, especially since your goal is unique to you. In Building Love Inside and Out, we will be working through these areas and more during week 7. I'll be asking each lady who is accepted into the program to book one of their 2 individual calls with me after the Tuesday course so we can spend 1 hour together getting through this as much as possible. So during that week, we will let go of unhealthy expectations, create healthy relationship standards, and create your vision for your healthy relationship and future self. We will also overlap boundary setting with asking for what you want in your ideal healthy relationship. I'm going to put the application in the show notes, but Building Love Inside and Out is going to be closing its doors on Friday, September 1st. I'm only taking 10 women into the program. Women are already applying, and I'm going to be looking at all the applications that have been sent through already tomorrow. When I return from my vacation on September 11th, those that have been accepted into the program will receive an email with your next steps. Then we start on Monday, September 18th. Now, if someone does not respond to their offer email to continue to be in the group, then I will be going to the next lady who's on the list that I think is a good fit. If you want more information about what I'm covering in the other 7 weeks, you can go to my website, reinventingthearena.com/building love inside and out. You can also go back and start listening to the podcast episodes 51 and forward, because that's going to cover each week individually. Next week's episode, I'm going to be talking about showing up with love as your future self, recognizing your new self with confidence and contentment so you can make efficient dating decisions and intentionally choose yourself first for the long term. All of this is what we're going to be focusing on during the last week of the program. Oh, and if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who would love to know more about dating with intention. My hope is that this podcast will help other women like you heal from heartbreak, learn more about ourselves so we can truly date with determination, because I just know the man you're looking for is out there, preparing for you. Okay, lady, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I can't wait to have you join me next week. I'll talk to you soon. Can't stop settling? Sign up to receive daily words of wisdom. I call them Lady Love Lessons. They're for ambitious women like yourself who are tired of hearing they're too much or that they're not enough. It'll help give you the tough love and motivation to choose yourself first. All you have to do is go to my website, reinventingthearena.com, and scroll to the bottom of the homepage to sign up. I'll see you in your inbox.